Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
A very warm welcome
to Arusha,
Tanzania.
I would like to invite you to kindly
take your
take your
seats
seats for those who are still standing
as
we are beginning our opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, speakers and all those who are following us online, good morning
again.
Welcome
to the third ITU Forum on Cities and Metaverse, shaping a cityverse for all, taking place here in Arusha, also known as Geneva of Africa in Tanzania. Thank you for joining us at Grand Media Arusha, and for those who are following us online. My name is Innocent Mungi. I'm the head of government communication in the Ministry of Information
and Information Technology, the United Republic of Tanzania, and I'm honored to be your Director of Ceremonies this morning. Today's forum aims to bring Metaverse experts from around the world to discuss the role of Metaverse in cities and identify areas of further collaboration, including Metaverse standardization activities. We encourage you to actively participate and engage with our speakers and fellow attendees. Make the most of this unique opportunity to meet fellow Metaverse experts from around the world. We were expecting to have an opening remarks from the regional commissioner, but unfortunately he's not with us here. So next, please join me in welcoming Honorable Engineer Kundo Andrea Matthew, Member of Parliament, who is the Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Information, Communication, and I'm told the Permanent Secretary. Oh, thank you. I wasn't informed about this, my apologies. The Honorable Regional Commissioner has a representative here with us. Please, Madam, welcome to the podium. The floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Emanuela Mtatifikolo Kaganda. I'm the District Commissioner for Arumeru in Arusha. I'm here to represent the Regional Commissioner for Arusha. Distinguished guest of honor, Honorable Engineer Kundo Andrea MP, Deputy Minister for Information, Communication, and Information Technology, Mr. Mohammed Hamis Abdullah, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication, and Information Technology, Mr. Omoe Seizo, Director, Telecommunications Standardization Bureau, ITU, Engineer Othman Sharif Hatib, Chairman of Board of Directors of Tanzania Communication Authority, Regulation Authority, TCRA, Dr. Jabil Bakar, Director General of Tanzania Communications Regulatory Authority, distinguished guests, media people, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Arusha residents and on behalf of the Regional Commissioner for Arusha, I'm privileged to extend a warm and sincere welcome to each of you in our splendid city of Arusha. Arusha has rightfully earned its reputation as a premier conference hub in Tanzania. Our city boasts for a plethora of world-class conference facilities, including the newly inaugurated Pub Tower, which features state-of-art internationally conference rooms. Furthermore, private institutions within our city offers conference facilities that adhere to global standards of global excellencies. We welcome you all to consider those facilities for your upcoming conference are far from this one. Beyond our remarkable conference infrastructures, Arusha serves as a gateway of unparalleled tourism experience. It is a gateway to incomparable Serengeti National Park, the inspiring Ngorongoro Crater, and several globally renowned wildlife sanctuaries. However, our city and country possesses the rich tapestry of historical and cultural attractions awaiting explorations. We welcome you to take advantage of the opportunity to visit these attractions. Distinguished delegates, let me also take this opportunity to assure you that we have placed utmost importance in your stay and in your safety. We will take meticulous care of the matter related to social services. We pledge to provide a safe and serene environment for all delegates, ensuring that your time in Arusha is marked by peace and tranquility. I would like to emphasize the warm hospitality of people of Arusha, who are eager to take your stay here memorable and enjoyable. Do not hesitate to visit our various entertainment venues and experience the Tanzanian hospitality and way of life. Once again, we extend our heartfelt welcome, and we are excited to embark in this journey with you as we collectively contribute to advancement of telecommunications and information technology. It is my hope that may this forum be a resounding success. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Emanuela Mtatifikolo, the Area Commissioner of Arumeru. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Engineer Kundo Andrea Matthew, who is a Member of Parliament, Deputy Minister, Minister of Information, Communication and Information Technology, United Republic of Tanzania, for his official welcome remarks. Your Honorable Deputy Minister, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Tanzania and we are in Arusha. we call the Geneva of Africa. And we're always happy. And I should be waiting to see the faces that they're smiling to enjoy the environment in Arusha. Honorable Emanuela Kaganda, DC from Arumeru for Regional Commissioner, Mr. Onoe Seizo, Director, Telecommunication and Standardization Bureau, ITU, Mr. Muhammad Hamis Abdullah, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Engineer Othman Sharif Hatib, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Tanzania Communication Regulatory Authority, Dr. Jabir Bakari, Director General of Tanzania Communication Regulatory Authority, ITU Study Group 20 Management Team and experts here present, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the administration of the United Republic of Tanzania, I'm delighted and honored to welcome you to Arusha for this important forum, Cities and Metaverse, Shaping a Cityverse for All. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Director of the ITU Telecommunication Standardization Bureau and his team for accepting our proposal to host this important event in Tanzania. It is indeed a great honor for Tanzania to host a special session of our ITU focus group on the Metaverse, which took place yesterday, the third ITU, the meeting of ITU Study Group 20, Internet of Things and Smart City and Community. Distinguished delegates, in 1985, 93 ITU member states came together in Arusha to address the finding of Maryland Commission report, known as the missing link. That conference concluded with a declaration to bring all mankind within easy reach of telephoning. The conference declared that telecommunication was a cardinal requirement for the progress of humanity as a whole, and that the constraints faced by the countries had to overcome as a matter of urgency. 38 years later, we are coming back to Arusha, not to discuss about bringing all mankind within easy reach of telephone, but on the use of new and emerging technologies, such as metaverse, digital twins, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, and big data analytics in transforming our cities and communities. These technologies can be used to respond to our common challenges, enhancing quality and accessibility of services, consequently improve our lives while creating new opportunities. Distinguished delegates, the growth of cities creates an unprecedented sustainability challenge. Urban centers increasing witness social tension brought by traffic congestion, air and water pollution, and urban crime, just to mention few. In Tanzania, the renewed thrust to relocate the government from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma in 2016 has resulted into an unprecedented growth of population in the city of Dodoma. And the projection shows the growth trend over the next few decades. This call for systems that will support our future needs in a sustainable and integrated way. It is in this context the government is developing a smart Dodoma. Metaverse presents opportunity to accelerate the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. In making this metaverse a true generator of development and sustainability for all, The design and implementation of Smart Dodoma project will take into consideration, among others, the identified metaverse potential to revolutionize the way cities and communities function, interact, and manage resources in a more sustainable and efficient and inclusive manner. Distinguished delegates, the establishment of ITU Focus Group on Metaverse last year marked a significant milestone in our collective effort to harness the potential for this transformative technology by analyzing technical requirements and identifying fundamental enabling technology across various domains, such as multimedia network optimization, digital currency, Internet of Things, digital twins, and environmental sustainability. And this focus group is paving the way for more open and sustainable future for all our Shanghai, China. ITU was requested to establish a digital coalition on Cityverse, and Tanzania is a proud supporter of this groundbreaking proposal. Our support demonstrates Tanzania's shared commitment to fostering collaboration and providing a neutral platform for cities to identify their priorities. Distinguished delegates, as we move forward in our effort to develop Smart Dodoma, Tanzania will actively participate in the digital coalition on Cityverse, contributing our insight and experience while learning from others. This collaborative approach will enable us to address common challenge, share the best practice, and ultimately create sustainable, open, and inclusive cities and communities that leverage the power of the metaverse for the benefit of all. I am confident that we will not remain behind in development, adoption, as well as deployment of metaverse in transforming our cities and communities. Dear brothers and sisters, the United Smart Sustainable Cities initiative, coordinated by ITU along with several United Nations bodies, provide the guidance necessary to help cities along smartness and sustainability pathways. I request for partnership and support that will enable Tanzania to develop a comprehensive framework and customize these KPIs for the Dodoma city so that they can provide a means of self-assessment and monitoring of Dodoma sustainable development progress toward achieving the sustainable development goals. Distinguished delegates, Arusha is a popular tourist destination. It offers a pleasurable climate and is surrounded by internationally renowned attractions, including game parks like Serengeti, Ngorongoro, Lake Manyara, Olduvai Gorge, Tarangire National Park, and Mount Kilimanjaro and the Arusha National Park, where Mount Meru. I conclude, may I take this opportunity again to visit the wonderful attraction in Tanzania. Thank you.
Armel, Technology, Tanzania, colleagues and friends. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to our discussion today. Let me begin by thanking our generous host, Tanzania, for working with us to organize today's forum. We highly appreciate your support. Tanzania, together with Greece, also supported the event in July at the high-level political forum on sustainable development. ITU is well positioned to deliver value in this arena with the expertise that drives the work of our Metaverse Focus Group and our Standardization Experts Group for the Internet of Things and Smart Cities and Communities, that ITUT Study Group 20. That's why our work is planning and management, where digital twins are helping city leaders to simulate their innovations before implementing them, implementing them at scale. The concept of the city bus is certain to continue receive experiences. Group, we are inviting all stakeholders to act as attracted a great number of participants for your contribution to our discussion today to support you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our on-site audience, meaning here, please raise your hand and the floor will be given to you to post website, so you don't have to labor taking note of everything that is being spoken here. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to our first session titled Executive Roundtable on the Cityverse. In the session, Madam Wendy Teresa Koiko Campana, whether that is correct, but I'm sure you have understood me, who is the Vice Chair, United for Smart Sustainable Cities in Initiative. Wendy? Hello? Yes. She boasts over 25 years of dedicated service to affairs at the permanent as a focal point in the Caribbean countries within the ITU. Madam Wendy, kindly, the floor is yours. A round of applause for our moderator, please.
Hello. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Salam. We will focus on the African region, and also we will aim to bring together key stakeholders from across the metaverse ecosystem to discuss the important role of technical standards, policy and resolution in developing an open, interoperable. Just one second, I'm so sorry about that. Okay. Secure and inclusive cityverse. I'm Wendy Koiko Campana, Vice Chairman of the United for Smart and Sustainable Cities Initiative, and it's a privilege to serve as your moderator for this session. We have an exceptional panel of speakers who will share their insights to identify best practices and guidance on how to shape a cityverse for all. Allow me, please, to briefly introduce our esteemed speakers. Dr. Habiri Bakari, Director General, Tanzania Communications Regulation Authority. Mr. Bakari is the Director General of Tanzania Communications Regulatory Authority, following his presidential appointment in April 2021. His experience spans both the academic and with over 25 Tanzania. Professor Monfupe is the mayor of Dodoma City, the new national capital city of the United Republic of Tanzania. 2017 and re-elected in October 2020, and he's serving his second 5-year term. Professor Monfupe is passionately pursuing the Smart Dodoma mission, in which essential services to Mr. Besimere is currently the business, Karibu sana, and commercial execution work the Tanzania Mobile Network Operations Association. Welcome to Mr. Dinesh Balsin, Managing Director, Airtel Tanzania. Mr. Balsin is currently the Managing Director of Airtel Tanzania. He is a sales and marketing professional with over 20 years of experience. Welcome. Primarily spanning across telecommunications, Mr. Batsin has managed to grow Airtel Tanzania market share, and now we welcome manager is Irene Godson. Oh, yes. Manager to everyone in Africa and enable small customers to fully benefit from the internet world. Welcome to all, Karibu Sana. After all the introductions, we will please proceed to the panel discussion. So let's move forward to our first round of questions. And this question goes to Mr. Monfupe and Mr. Vesimere, please. What role does the government and private sector play in increasing adoption of the Cityverse across the African region?
Thank you for this central question, which is an opening question. But I would wish to place my response in the context of Tanzania and in Africa in general, where urbanization is markedly different from what is taking place elsewhere in the world. It's rapid, and in most cases, it is associated with slowly growing urban economies. And as a result of this one, there is always a problem of under-provisioning, but also some environmental challenges are being faced in this part of the world. And in response to this one, at the same time, Tanzania, Africa in general, all look upon cities to be the centers of economic development, goals. Now, with problems on one hand, with the other responsibilities on the other, the government in Africa, and thus particularly in Tanzania, have been doing quite a lot in terms of putting supportive policy and legislative framework. And this is very important in the sense that unless related to legislature, there's no way we can reach all the people who are intended. The theme is shaping better best for all. At a practical level, the government, in particular that of Tanzania, has been doing quite a lot in terms of making it easy for the normal population to be reached. It's no wonder that a lot of the terminologies in the ICT world is being translated in Kiswahili so that we reach everybody else there. But on the other hand, it is also working towards having to reach those areas which are probably not very favorable to the private sector. Again, it's a problem. In all, find that the cardinal role of the government is to improve connectivity. The private sector has been very central in their endeavor, and they are at the center of the ICT world, because with them we have having to get investment, research, as well as provision of infrastructure, again, for the same purpose of reaching all the intended people, that is inclusivity in terms of their undertakings. They are all supportive of the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, whose call is always to provide better services to the...
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Wendy. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I recently read a paper that was prepared by McKinsey, McKinsey Consulting, for those of you that are familiar, and value from participating in the metaverse globally in the next 5 to 8 years will be about, if you take current trends. So I'm excited to participate in such a pivotal conversation and be actively involved, which really is how do you make it relevant for ordinary folks. As a private sector, it's told we have the ability to mobilize investment, to mobilize capital, to lay the necessary infrastructure, scale up to prepare us for that cityverse world. I think the second thing, usually in this space, once you go into more sophisticated technology space, you don't want to leave anyone behind. So digital skills or digital literacy is going to be important, and that's an important role for us as a private sector, because it wouldn't make any sense for us to have all these solutions where we can connect or solutions for the city, but ordinary people can't use them simply because they're too complex for them to follow. I think the other thing is that as a private sector, we need to be at the forefront of partnerships, of driving partnerships. Partnerships with government, partnerships with FDIs, partnerships with the local governments, partnership with, with time. I don't think there is a template that anybody can follow. I mean, yesterday we had a session with the director of the Standardization Bureau, and we were talking about
physical.
Today, it's raising a lot of issues. So we are expecting that there will be a lot of create an environmental situation where we protect those data. Virtual assets. We are seeing different things that are coming up, and yes, this meeting here is to align, and whatever is coming up in our regulations will favor will create an environment where all these things will happen. Of course, there are more challenges on judications, on interoperability issues, more standards, which I to see.
Mr. Bakari, for your intervention. What is the role of telecom industry to accelerate adoption of Cityverse, please?
The future that we are envisaging, I think it's a very important conversation to have in today's context in Africa and in Tanzania specifically. I think if you look at the entire aspect of how telecom companies can play a major role, I think telecom companies have a large role to play, an assertive role to play in the entire metaverse, immersive technologies, multiple things, AI, artificial intelligence, all these things which are coming in are going to be the building blocks of the metaverse that we are all building. And now let's take what are some of the, because 5G runs data at multiple gigabits per second, ultra low latency, and it's also got large capacities which are required for applications which are the virtual attributes of a metaverse requires all these applications. So future technologies that are, because metaverse is going to use spectrum a lot. And also, what are policies by which one can lay out fiber in a very cost, technology companies, whether it is in the space of cloud computing, edge clouds, immersive technologies. I believe LA is getting ready for an immersive technology for the Olympics, right? So, they're already laying foundation stone giants. So, telcos coming together with technology giants, a lot of data is going to be consumed, repurposing of data. All of these things requires investment in platforms of artificial intelligence. So, telcos have to play a role in bringing that in. Next comes the devices. Because today, how do you interact with the metaverse? You interact with VR handsets, headsets of the country into the city, and how do you proliferate them, build use cases around them? So that's one important aspect. Cyber security, privacy. The larger the digital footprint, it's more, it's open, it's more risky for the government, for the consumer. And consumers generally consider telcos as, protectors of data compared to the other technology service providers. So that's something, how do you build that trust with the customer and protect their data? Even facial movements or blinks can also be tracked into the metaverse because it's all a 3D environment. So these are certain things that are very highly crucial. So cyber security, and last I think is the entire aspect of ecosystem development and economic enablement. It's a virtual world, so people are going to buy goods and services in a virtual world. So how do you enable payments, transactions, interoperability, things like that I think is a very important element. Then going beyond that, ecosystem use cases. So a lot of things have to be done on smart mining, smart agriculture, medicine. So bringing in all those ecosystems, use cases. I think these are all some of the elements where telcos can actively play a role in the formation of a metaverse and especially a cityverse. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. Basim. Moving forward now, I would like to address this question to Mr. Mwafupe and to Mr. Besimere. What are the Cityverse challenges? I am correct? Yes. Sorry about that again. So, please, Mr. Mwafupe. Thank you.
As aforementioned, probably the biggest challenge is not in equitable provision of services. The gap between those who are well served and those who are not served is still there. But also connectivity is still low. We know where we are going as a country. We know where we're going as a continent, but connectivity is relatively low. In other cases, the question of costs is quite significant. This is partly contributed by the sharp physical digital divide between urban communities which are well served with this connectivity on one hand and the rural parts. So indeed, when you have this sharp divide, you fail to get to benefit from the economies of scale. And therefore, having to connect one to the other is actually a big challenge. However, there are opportunities, definitely. There are opportunities. One is that the countries in Africa are joined by their efforts towards the African Union, for example, had mentioned that we need to have a strategy that will transform the digital world. And indeed, in that case, therefore, it provides a better opportunity. Now, specific to Tanzania, which I will take advantage of this summit being here, the opportunities are there. The policy framework is there. It forms a very sound base from where to build the other cases. Indeed, if one would put these two sides on a weighing machine, weigh the challenges, and this towards the application of this renewed technology. Opportunities are there, challenges are there, but opportunities far outweigh these challenges. Now, let us join hands with the government of Tanzania to focus on Smart Dodoma because of the sincere belief that the city is ready for that march, but also let us see that other cities in the country and the rest of the communities that we strive to include in the Cityverse. So indeed, yes, there are challenges, but there are opportunities as well. We bank on the international collaboration of the companies that we have in the continent and in Tanzania in particular to be able to reach other worlds of the ICT technologies. Thank you.
I see these opportunities as solving
challenges that are in existence. And the first, day-to-day citizens, businesses, whether it's operations, lifestyle, there's simply a lot of friction. Take a case of traffic jams. You know, if you're city center to the airport, unless you're Mheshimiwa Naibu Waziri and you have a lead car to clear the traffic, you're going to be stuck in traffic. And the metaverse gives us the opportunity now to solve such challenges, because all this data can be collected and you get smart traffic control. Today, all this can be better managed in the cityverse. So smart sensors and all these are going to help a lot. So efficiency is one of the things that we will get out of the metaverse. I think the other thing, and Dinesh did allude to it, is value creation. It's not one company, one government department, one region, but we all have a big opportunity to participate in this metaverse economy. Talking about it with Dr. Manasseh the other day, where Nike took us through this whole experience of buying one of their latest Jordans in the metaverse. You know, you could go in there and window shop, pick the shoe that you want, try it on, put it in the cart, check out, and ship it out to your address, all within the metaverse without having actually to go into a store and do this physically. Now, when I say value creation, you're going to require, for example, last mile logistics capability, that if I am in the metaverse, I am in Dodoma, and I see this very beautiful pair of shoes that is somewhere in Osaka, Japan, and I want to buy it. Yes, I can buy it in the metaverse, but how do I get it to me in Dodoma? So last mile logistics, as an example, is going to be very important. The third thing, Wendy, that I want to highlight is relevance. I think many times when we think about these solutions and opportunities, we think about them in a very technical manner. But how does it solve the day-to-day man or woman on the streets problems? So really solving day-to-day problems. So for example, I spoke about the traffic jam. Those are common daily problems that people face. And if we can solve that with the use of technology, we start to create relevance for these technologies, and we create adoption. I think the other thing I want to highlight here is the digital gender divide. It's really important that everybody is involved. I mean, with respect, I'm looking at the panel here, and it's a mano. We are only men here. Where are the women, right? We should be encouraging, full gender participation. And I think there are reports, studies that have been done that show that, many times the women are left behind, and we have to make sure that as we get into the cityverse or metaverse environment, we don't really continue to create this gap where only one gender is represented and the others are not. And then Dinesh also spoke about interoperability, and I think the Director General TCR also spoke about it. Here we're going to have to make sure things can interconnect and interoperate. Some are on the government side, some are in the private sector, some are with the citizen. How do we make sure that all these things can actually work together? Because that interoperability then allows for the whole metaverse to work. And then I think I won't repeat the infrastructure issue. It's been spoken of at length, but I want to end by saying that importantly, we need to collaborate. We are in this together. We will need PPPs, frameworks to work and mature in this space. We need to create and co-create. But also importantly, and especially in the regulatory space, we need to allow for mass experimentation, because some of these things
none of us have done them before, whether it's government or the private sector or technology partners. We have to allow for incubation of ideas for these things to evolve. And I'm glad that when you engage with the city of Dodoma, for example, they're very keen to try out things. And we have to allow for that experimentation to really take place, and successful use cases can then be deployed at scale. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Philip Pesimere, for your valuable insights, but most of all, for mentioning a very important topic to the ITU gender. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now I go back to you, Mr. Bakari. What role do you see the metaverse playing in fostering entrepreneurship, job creation, and economic growth in Africa, especially Tanzania? And how can regulatory policies support these outcomes, please? Thank you.
Thank you again, Madam Moderator. Yes, metaverse can have a very big impact in Africa, in particular Tanzania, and I will mention a few. The first thing is on digital entrepreneurship. The metaverse can give African business a very new opportunity. We can make virtual products, many services can be available, digital context, and so on. And as I said again, all this can happen if we have good policies and a good regulatory environment, of which we are working on. But another area is job creation. I see a lot of opportunity that are coming up, the new job opportunities, the many virtual creation of different things like virtual events, event management, virtual marketing, and so on. We have a lot of things that are happening from the other world that we will see it in this new world. But again, all we need to be prepared to have a supportive environment, and starting by creating an environment for testing, as Philip said. But I also see access to global markets. We will now break this physical barrier that we had. So we're seeing African breaking, in particular Tanzania, to the new markets by having this virtual platform that can create that possibility of doing things in a different market. But we also see issue of digital infrastructure. I did mention, so we see big infrastructure data centers that have all are possible for interoperability, but they also call for reliable power and so on and so on. The list is long. And all these, we have to set the environment, the policy, the regulations. I see the growth of the financial inclusion in a different aspect. We're seeing virtual banks, virtual digital currencies coming up with different opportunities. I'm also seeing here in Tanzania, we had already declared to issue for free the all the resources, the communication resources. But I see also the digital literacy and the skill developments for individuals. This new world, or the metaverse world, creates a situation where people can really be educated in a way that maybe could be more effective than what we used to do. So overall, we're looking forward to see a lot of businesses, job creation, and generally economic development in Africa. All this supported by proper regulatory policies. And so we should be having a very forward-looking, flexible, open to changes, to technology, in general, an environment that will not create any kind of a barrier for the new things. Because once again, as Philip said, it's a new way of doing things. So we must create a situation where even the testing of the new ideas is also given some role.
Very good advices. So I would like to continue with the next question to Mr. Dinesh Basim. What are impactful use cases of metaverse to Africa region and its implications on policies? Please, Dinesh.
Yeah, thank you, Wendy. I think it's a great question. There are quite a few impactful use cases, and let me also dwell into policies at a later point. But any use case in an African context must address the socio-economic challenges that Africa faces, like poverty eradication, health, education, transportation, most especially, I mean, infrastructure like transportation, water, power. At the same time, it must also leverage what are the opportunities in Africa of agriculture, especially in Tanzania, agriculture, fishing, mining, tourism. So all these use cases must leverage all of this. Let me take about a few, 4 or 5 use cases. So let's take transport, or let's take power. Power is a big topic, and today power companies in Tanzania have got problems of, monitoring and maintenance of the vast infrastructure that they have. Talking about lot of problems around the power flow analysis, energy management, things like that. So I've written down about 4 or 5 use cases that they can, there are good metaverse solutions available for this. So there's something called the smart grid management system, which is part of the metaverse. It's got modules like power load flow analysis. So it's a virtual representation of a power stage, transmission lines. So that's one module over there. There's another module called power energy balancing, which kind of balances supply and demand dynamically at a point in time, dynamically identifying faults and correcting and doing auto correction. Some of us use it on our networking and data visualizing at all the wall, but we find, so these things can be broadband speeds, even in rural and suburban areas. Take it to a senior, an advanced education level. One of the premier engineering schools of India, IIT Madras, has set up a 350-acre campus in Zanzibar. So now that can be a combination of virtual and physical classroom sessions that can happen. Now let's just think about what are the building blocks for this. You have 5G network, which is last mile, and then you have the terrestrial fiber networks, which is run by telcos as well as the national backbone. And then you have submarine cables. Recently, Two Africa has landed in Tanzania. It's a combination of all these 3 can power up and bring in smart education as a real use case. Let's go to medicine. So that can also bring in smart medicine as a real life use case. Robotic surgery can happen. People don't need to travel to meet experts. So quality medical facilities can happen. Universities can have virtual operating room environments where they can, make their students practice. So smart medicine is a great talked about. It's a great opportunity. Even on the streets in Dar es Salaam, one can see that, there is uneven traffic management, there's uneven traffic flow. And at times the signals are there, confusing. Whereas a smart sensor could, and a smart sensor traffic management system could actually communicate between various signals and then say that, okay, guys, traffic is building up over here, so let's extend the duration of the green light here. And then, things like that. Smart parking slots, it's a great opportunity to show a live kill in a virtual environment. There are National Geographic channels which talk about cameras in the wilderness capturing available in the in a metaverse ecosystem, specifically for Africa.
Capacity building are key. So thank you. Well, Master of Ceremony, I am not breaking any rules here, but because we have time, I would like to, if it's possible, to have this question to the panel. Any one of you that can kindly answer that question, online question, please? I can repeat the question again. So what are we doing for skill development and capacity building for Cityverse ecosystem. Thank you.
Let me use this one. Okay. Thanks for that question, Wendy. I'll take the first attempt. There's various capacity building, training, and education initiatives that are at play within, and I'm looking at this from a private sector point of view and the telco space. We all have different tech upskilling programs, both in a formal environment within our own organizations, but also as community initiatives, whether it's things like Code Like a Girl, some university attachments and engagements, and so on. So at various levels, we have started deliberately undertaking specific capacity building programs that firstly introduce technology to young people in their school environment, whether it's actually right from primary school, secondary school, and then within our own organization, we are actually supporting students in the university environment. I also obviously have to acknowledge that this is a developing space, and the curriculum or the content for this is going to continuously evolve and develop. But those are some of the sort of short-term initiatives that we are engaged with.
Let me just add on to what Philip is saying. I think as telcos, all of us have certain programs running towards upskilling people. Now let's talk about technology upskilling as well as general secondary school education. So there are two things that we are doing in Airtel, which is a partnership with an incubation lab called DTBI. So we set up this incubation lab and support setting it up and sponsor students to go there and get trained on innovation and technologies. So that's one thing. And then there is also a VETA program, we call it Vocational Education Training Program, which is run by the government. So we kind of partner that. And close to 3,000 students have been certified through the VETA program. So there are small interventions like this in which we support. Beyond that, coming to the secondary school education, the Tanzanian Institute of Education, the curriculum has been digitized. And we also work with education providers like Shule Direct, who kind of are able to provide digital education even in secondary schools. So that part is digital. A lot more has to be done. I wouldn't say
an inclusive, open, safe, and interoperable digital ecosystem. Let's continue with this interested conversation in our upcoming sessions and work together to unlock the future of the metaverse. Thank you very much. Asante sana, and enjoy the rest of the event. Master of Ceremony, back to you to continue with the forum. Thank you.
Another round of applause for our moderator, Ms. Wen. Thank you to all our speakers for sharing your expertise on how to shape a Cityverse for all, which in fact is an important for Africa region to capture the trends of metaverse and embrace the emerging technologies to empower all. We will now proceed to our key speech. It's my pleasure to introduce Kuge O, Director of Digital Policy Division, Seoul Metropolitan Government to deliver her keynote speech on the present and future of Seoul with Metaverse Seoul. Kuge Oh is the Director of the Digital Policy Division, Seoul Metropolitan Government. She leads the Digital Policy Division, and it is through this division that SMG established and implements Seoul Smart City Masters Plan, operates smart city cooperative systems, and promotes Seoul. MSO is currently focusing on applying metaverse through Seoul and cooperating with the private sector and the citizen to develop livable and sustainable smart city. MS Kuge Oh, the floor is yours. Video, please. My apologies for the late play of the video. She's joining us via a video, please. Sound.
So refer to as SMG. In the Digital Policy Division, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Kyung-hee Oh, Director of the Digital Policy Division at the Seoul Metropolitan Government, also referred to as SMG. In the Digital Policy Division, I lead efforts in shaping the Seoul Smart City Master Plan and implementing smart city projects throughout the city. To begin, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to ITU for extending an invitation to me for this meaningful event. Today, the Metaverse unfolds new and promising future possibilities right before our eyes, serving as a bridge between the traditional and digital world. The Metaverse first innovation and spark creativity across a wide range of sectors. With the Metaverse becoming a potent driving force, it's time to take a deeper look at digital transformation across various fields, including the Metaverse. In this regard, I hope that this forum serves as a constructive platform for stakeholders to engage in discussions about the potential roles and collaboration areas with respect to the Metaverse, facilitating the exchange of diverse insights. The SMG has two pillars to become one of the smartest cities. One is to offer a range of smart services built upon a robust smart infrastructure supported by cutting-edge technologies. And the other, which is the most critical factor, is its smart citizens who actively embrace new digital experiences. The SMG harnesses the virtual world and digital twin technologies to provide essential IT service for its citizens. Many nations worldwide have shown keen interest in government-led metaverse platforms in the virtual world. The SMG has maintained its role as a first mover in establishing the Metaverse as a pivotal channel for delivering administrative services, particularly in response to the contactless environment brought about by COVID-19. The SMG embarked on this pioneering path by harness metaverse platform offered by private Korean companies such as GPT and Ifrand. In 2021, amid the constraints imposed by COVID-19 pandemic on in-person gathering, the SMG achieved significant milestones. It orchestrated the Metaverse Watch Night Bell event with its cities and hosted a virtual fashion show on the Metaverse platform for the first time in Korea. As mentioned earlier, the SMG has a history of extending service to its citizens through the Metaverse platform developed by the private companies. Some might wonder why the city government is building its own platform instead of utilizing a private entity's Metaverse platform to provide administrative service. However, the SMG encountered several shortcomings while implementing administrative service on the private Metaverse platform. Firstly, the private platform was unable to connect to the SMG's internal system for handling complaints and counseling, primarily due to security concerns. This resulted in limited accessibility to administrative services for citizens. Secondly, the private Metaverse platform typically offers one-time content, which poses a challenge for providing continuous services. Thirdly, designating a specific private platform for the SMG's administrative services may cause controversy over preferential treatment. Additionally, it is crucial for the SMG to develop its own platform to mitigate the risk of service disruption due to heavy reliance on a particular platform. Lastly, the SMG's own platform facilitates the efficient and sustainable delivery of public services, leading to reduced operation costs, and it enhances the promotion of the SMG's initiative to the public through the Metaverse. Based on the lesson learned through the experience of providing service on the provided Metaverse platform, the SMG, as the first city government, is committed to build and manage its own scale of Metaverse platform that seamlessly integrated with its current online and offline administrative service. Metaverse Seoul is create a new continent of Seoul with three goals: envisioning a future city shaped by its citizens, fostering an opportunity city that generates added value, and establish a primary communication channel that all citizens can enjoy. Anchored in the fundamental value of freedom, companionship, and connection, Metaverse Seoul offers a virtual space wherein individuals can access administrative services anytime, anywhere throughout the year. Through this process, the SMG had formulated the basic plan for Metaverse Seoul and is progressively implementing the Metaverse Seoul project in stages, from 2021 to 2026. Following a pilot service that is aimed to foster consensus on the metaverse paradigm, Metaverse Seoul is advancing through three stages. The first stage of metaverse introduction, the second stage of service expansion, and the third stage of service settlement. The first stage of metaverse introduction was completed in 2022. In January of this year, the Metaverse Seoul service was unveiled as a downloadable app on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store, allowing anyone who loves Seoul to seamlessly access and utilize the Metaverse Seoul platform. In the initial stages of establishing the Metaverse Master Plan and leading the project, the SMG confronted the challenges posed by the pandemic-driven era of non-contact interactions. In response to this environment, and with the object of broadening the channels for delivering established administrative services, the SMG introduced Metaverse Seoul, integrating existing services such as consultation and document issuance applications. The Metaverse Seoul developed during the project first stage holds significance as an early virtual reality pilot service integrating fundamental administrative service into a novel non-contact communication channel. The SMG's initiative has garnered recognition from Time magazine, the world's largest weekly publication. The magazine acknowledged the SMG's pioneer effort as the first city for government to build a metaverse platform, providing citizens with a range of services within a virtual space. Consequently, Metaverse Seoul was honored by the magazine as one of the best inventions of 2022. While providing these services, the SMG has continually asked the question to itself, what more valuable content can we provide to our citizens through this virtual space? Furthermore, the SMG has been dedicated to gathering citizens' opinions through expert insight and collaborate, enhance the overall experience within Metaverse Seoul. Following such extensive contemplation and deliberation, the SMG arrived at the decision that Metaverse Seoul should offer services that are challenging to experience, yet fulfill essential needs in life. Consequently, this year, the SMG is elevating the Metaverse service to the next level, emphasize interactive content that users can actively engage with and enjoy. The issue of real estate contract fraud has emerged as a significant concern in Korea. In response, the SMG plans to launch a virtual real estate contract experience service this September. This service will provide first-time buyers with the opportunity to familiarize themselves with important aspects to consider when entering into real estate contracts. Furthermore, individuals are exposed to diverse risks, arising from technological advancement and long-standing natural disasters. Given the physical experience zones, which are designed to teach people how to react to these risks, have limitations in terms of visitor capacity. The SMG established a virtual citizen safety experience center. Extending beyond the services mentioned earlier, the SMG plans to introduce an its mode for Metaverse Seoul, aiming to improve user accessibility. The SMG is advancing Metaverse Seoul by introducing a user-friendly mode for its Metaverse service. This mode is designed to make Metaverse Seoul more accessible, particularly for those who might face these challenges when using a Metaverse app that is more complex than a regular app. As an example, for a more user-friendly experience, Metaverse Seoul will soon integrate voice recognition AI, allowing users to interact using voice command rather than touching a screen. Additionally, the SMG will enrich cultural and tourism-related content within Metaverse Seoul to capture the interest of international tourists. The Metaverse Seoul will offer content about tourist attraction, enabling foreign visitors who plan to come to Seoul to have a virtual preview of the city. Furthermore, as part of the project's second stage in August of this year, the SMG began offering multilingual services to enhance accessibility of Metaverse Seoul for non-Korean-speaking foreigners. Previously, users were required to complete an identity verification process, which was restricted to use within Korea in order to access Metaverse Seoul. However, individuals from abroad can now join and utilize the core service of Metaverse Seoul as long as they have a valid email account. While there are voices acknowledging the positive aspects of Metaverse Seoul, including Time magazine recognizing its excellence and honoring it as one of the best inventions, there are also voice express skepticism about the effectiveness of the Metaverse Seoul service. The initial global interest in the Metaverse during the COVID-19 pandemic was subsequently diminished as the pandemic evolved into an endemic state. This shift led to waning interest in the Metaverse, accompanied by a surge in pessimistic opinions concerning its effectiveness. Given this situation, the question arises, does the SMG still need to pursue the Metaverse project? I firmly believe it does. Certain services are essential for citizens, yet challenging for profit-oriented companies to deliver. It is the responsibility of government and local authorities to ensure the continuous delivery of such services to their citizens. The SMG holds the belief that government should assume the role of providing services that are challenging for companies to execute but offer substantial benefit to their citizens. The metaverse is unveiling more possibilities than ever before. We must leverage inventive concepts and emerging technologies derived from the metaverse to forge a more advanced world. In pursuit of this goal, communication and collaboration are indispensable. Hence, I look forward to the continuation of conferences like this one, which play a crucial role in fostering these vital aspects. The SMD will remain unwavering in its commitment to shaping a prosperous future for Metaverse Seoul. I extend my gratitude to each individual present today and extend my best wishes for the advancement and expansion of the Metaverse and its foundational technologies in the time ahead. I will conclude my speech by showing a video about Metaverse Seoul. Thank you for your kind attention.
이렇게 만나니까
새롭네.
이렇게 만나니까
새롭네. 안녕. 근데 이분은 누구? 안녕하세요. 전 여러분께 메타버스 서울 곳곳을 안내할 해치입니다.
벚꽃잎은 놓쳐도 되지만 그녀만큼은 놓치고 싶지 않네.
그녀가 누군진 모르지만 여자 같군. 와, 너무 좋다.
제가 고등학생인데요. 할머니랑 둘이 사는데 고민이 있어서요.
괜찮아요. 편하게 얘기해봐요.
와, 기억들이 엄청 많이 있네. 올해 자동차 세나 확인해볼까?
그래. 어머, 너무 귀엽다.
사진 찍어줄게.
그래.
자, V. 아직 못 둘러본 게 더 많을 텐데.
그래? 모니터 둘러보면 되지 뭐.
그럼 우리 내일 만날 수 있겠네?
뭐, 그러든가? 가자고!
서울의 신재료, 메타버스 서울로 놀러오세요.
A round of applause for the presentation. Thank you so much, MS Hugeo, for sharing your valuable experience with the Metaverse Seoul. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a short break for coffee. Please take this time to enjoy refreshment and exchange ideas and expand your network as we break with fellow participants. We'll be reconvening here 11:30 for session 2, where we are going to explore the metaverse and unlocking the potential metaverse through global collaboration. Please enjoy your tea break. We'll be back here 11:30. Please make sure you come before time. Thank you very much. You have been such a wonderful audience, and I won't mind if you clap for me as well. Thank you very much.